Welcome to Linkronicity, or your journey and destiny link. I'm Stacey Kumagai, your linkologist, and I'm here to help you link your life. How are you, lovely souls? How are you doing? How are you feeling? And above all, I just want to say, I hope that you are all staying healthy and safe as we navigate this time. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, in the US of A, I want to wish you all a happy Independence Day weekend. And for anyone else who's outside of that holiday that's on our calendar to mark our independence, just know that this energy also resonates with you no matter where you are, because the energy of independence really has to do with independent thinking and how it affects our human collective consciousness. So it actually resonates for you too, just not in the calendar way that everyone else has experienced it in the United States, but collectively, there are no accidents. Collectively, energetically, there are no accidents. And so that's why I was called upon the collective to come explain what you may be thinking, feeling, and experiencing right now as our energy shift through this Independence Day weekend, no matter where you are. So what does this mean exactly? This means we are having to deal with the energies with the Jupiter square and the Mercury square and Neptune going into its shift phase, which affects us. It affects our whole dynamic of the way that we live life, the way we show up in life, and also what energies are being taxed and utilized. So what this really means is this is a push-pull energy. And when I say that, bear with me, I'm going to explain this in pedestrian terms so you understand. Okay, so for those who actually are acknowledging this calendar holiday of Independence Weekend, people are really trying to relax and enjoy, which is actually going against the grain of some of the energies, hence the push-pull. So while all of you are mentally, emotionally, and physically really in need of a rest, the energies that are pushing you to be proactive, to find solutions, to make plans, and to do things. And then your human is actually saying, oh, I just want to be a human being. But the energies are forcing you to be a human doing. And when that happens, sometimes there's conflict, which is why I was called here to explain this so you understand what's going on. You're not crazy. Everything's happening the way that it's happening, but it's also for purpose, which is also why I'm here to kind of translate that energy for you. So the push-pull balance that you're experiencing right now between being and doing and resting and proactively creating action is there so you can understand where your comfort zone boundaries are. Why is this important? It's important because while a healthy dose of getting out of your comfort zone, helps you grow, some parts of your comfort zone also do need to remain intact so you can stay grounded in the energy of what you know to be your own personal boundary, your ethical boundary, your principles and core values boundaries, and you're being true to self in who you are. When we do a lot of excavation work, we're actually being shown, this is who we are, and then how we deal with said energies are kind of part of our own metamorphosis transformation. So this is a warning for any of you humans who are judging how everyone's handling it. That's a no-no in terms of the cosmic energy right now, because we're all being shown in the light to destroy our own ego death, right? Ego means, you looking at things from the wrong lens instead of the collective bigger picture lens. Ego also means trying to impose kind of like an urgency type of energy towards someone who isn't really in the place to receive your terms, because it crosses some sort of boundary with the other person's terms. So what we're being asked to do is to stand firmly in who we are and our own boundaries, and be open to a little bit of the getting out of the comfort zone issue to grow, but not so much that we're compromising and being detrimental to ourselves. That's a big channel. Big channel. Very important to do that. A lot of people want to be open and agile and, kind of be in this people-pleasing mode. But sometimes when you're in the people-pleasing mode, it actually can cause a greater stress and detrimental health issue in your body, because you are already doing the push-pull balance dance with the oil, water, doesn't jive with you dance. And that creates a recipe for disaster, and you don't want to be doing that. So the only way we can course correct that is to remember what parts of our comfort zone are innately ours, and what we own, and what make us up individually as our unique selves to stay true to, because it's important, as opposed to morphing and contorting to be a ball of clay in other people's terms because they want you to. And that's not saying you defy authority, but it is so that way you can stay in balance to be at your best, because you can't be at your best if you are compromising these areas where they're not true to who you are. So this ego death comes with facing fears and the comfort zone and the balance of the push-pull, and really redefining your values and principles. So, lovely souls, what we're going to do today is we're going to do some trigger work. We're going to do some trigger work in terms of looking at ego. How do you define ego? You don't have to answer this now, but think about it, and maybe journal about it or meditate about it. How do you think about ego? What does that mean to you? Your ego. Where is it actually helpful for you? And where is it not? Where does it have no place? That's really important. Because if your ego is functioning in a way where you're only being this way because you're in fear, this is where the facing the fears come from, are in judgment of other people's judgment of you, then you're putting your energies in the wrong place, because really nobody should be in a place of judgment. That's a fact. Nobody should be in a place of judgment, because nobody really knows the bigger picture. Nobody knows where that person's coming from, what the triggers are, what the mental, emotional health stability factors are, well-being, and if you're being pushed upon or pulled upon to please somebody else's timeline, needs, wants, etc., then you are reactionary as opposed to remembering who you are to step into, set a boundary. And sometimes the boundaries don't resonate with the other party, but this is the place where we have the cohesive learning curve of how to connect, listen, relate, and exchange. Think about that for a second as you think about ego, and you think about facing fears, and you think about balance. This is a big piece. Big piece. Because what this does now is it kind of brings things to the light. So as we came off our previous healing time out exercises, from the summer solstice energy to the new moon energy, we're actually looking now at this energy exchange, independent energy, as to embracing some of our independent thinking. As much as we are invested in listening to other people's independent thinking and not judging for it. Because when we're receptive of listening to someone else's independent thinking and honoring our own independent thinking, what comes to light in this place with this push-pull balance of what we're experiencing from coming off the Jupiter square energy, the Mercury square Neptune energy, what we're doing is we're collaborating. We're saying, this is you, this is me. Let's find a solution in ways that we can work together. Let's find a solution in ways that we can, have discussions together. Let's get on the same page of each other's communication styles so we're on the same page. You hear that a lot, right? Oh, we're not on the same page. Well, this is how we get on the same page. We get on the same page because then we're understanding each other's frequency. And we're understanding the place from which it comes, right? It could be preconditioning. It could be old or outdated ways of thinking. Or it could also be dealing with comfort zone compromises. What do I mean by that? Think about what the comfort zone means to you. What does your comfort zone mean to you? How do you define comfort zone? How do you interpret where your boundaries are? How do you navigate through the energy of the push-pull between comfort and discomfort? I ask this for a very key reason. Because when it comes to facing fears, a lot of people like to put comfort zone and fear together, but it really doesn't have as much value as you may think it does. People go, oh, get out of your comfort zone. Jump in with both feet. Well, that's fine to a point. But if you are being respectful of honoring the ripple effect and circumstances and consequences that will be the aftermath, now you're taking it another level. Because then you're doing preventative, you're doing something actually proactive, and you're doing something that's actually healthier than just jumping upon command. And you have to really look at the bigger picture of the ramifications of what happens. As you're triggered with who you are and the energies that's being put upon you, especially at a sensitive time like this. We're going to be going through some intense energies now through October. So it's really important, lovely souls, to stay in balance and become very aware of what's in your environment, what you're inviting into your environment, where you're not putting a boundary in said environment, and where you're compromising yourself to the point you're contorting yourself to where it's opposite 180-degree direction from who you really are. This is very key. This is a very key thing that I'm being told from the collective energies and the guides from the other side, basically saying that we have to pay attention to this because in the next 3 to 4 months, there's going to be a lot of change, almost more change than we normally experience as we end third quarter, approach fourth. And I know you can feel it, right? This isn't just the pandemic energy that we're feeling and the vaccine energy that we're feeling, and it isn't just the world energy that we're feeling. Like, there's a lot of things that are about to shift cosmically, energetically, and in our 3D human life, and then the whole existentially kind of thing. So it's like we're looking at so many different things for our mind, body, soul, spirit, health, well-being, as much as we are also dealing with the heart and head energies and the push and pull energies and our human and our soul energies, and trying to evolve, because that's the mainstream collective consciousness goal. We all want to evolve for the positive, not for the negative. And so this is tricky energy, because sometimes when we evolve, it's not always in the favorable way, because we're trying to people please, or we're trying to go against the grain of who we are, reacting to the triggers for fear of judgment, and all of these necessary things for us that we have to take a look at under a bigger lens, under a microscope, magnifying glass, as we come to terms with our own evolution, personally and worldly. Personally and worldly. Think about that. Think about that as you take a bigger look around what's happening on the planet right now. And you'll see, oh my God, yes, absolutely, right? There's a lot of things being challenged with this push-pull energy, including you. So what can we do, lovely souls? What can we do to proactively embrace what's happening for the betterment of the world, for the betterment of the planet, for the betterment of humanity, for the betterment of our individual human soul journey experience, and even within your own respective and collective communities? I mean, it's important. It's important, and it has a ripple effect across the board for everything and everyone. What can we do? Well, the first thing we can do is we can take a pause. So if you're feeling like you're triggered, take a pause, take a break, take a deep breath, and instead of just blurting out what comes to you, or instead of firing off a reaction, really sit with what's being presented and ask yourself, is this who I am? Is this making the entire situation better? Or am I being triggered to be an enabler of a bad situation? Or am I the enabler? Again, 4 things, right? That's very necessary to do. So again, step number one is to ask that. That's important. So taking the pause, solution number 1. Solution number 2, we're going to be looking at pulling back to take a look at what's really happening. It may not be in the context you think. And I say this so everyone can kind of take a cautionary, angle lens to this. It may not be exactly what you think, or what, because of your perception. So if you're not seeing something clearly, or you think you do, it's not always coming from that place. So do allow room for the energy to show you otherwise. Some of that may come through dreams. Some of that may come through meditation. Some of that may come through your day-to-day walking about in the 3D world. Some of that may come about through something you feel triggered to say or write. Take a bigger look at that. And realize that if someone's not responding to you, that maybe they're also digesting. Again, not judging. Rather, give them room to digest, because it could be a lot. And maybe they're still trying to navigate their own push-pull energies and their own realization of their own comfort zones. So that's really key. So pull back. So the first one was pause. The second one is pull back. Number 3, solution. It's to really ask yourself if what you're experiencing is a fear, or is the fear really just fear of losing who you are? Because you know that the energy that's in front of you is really not aligned with what you are and who you are, what you've become, what you've gone through, your journey, any of that. So the fear may not be so much fear of the opportunity or the fear of whatever it is that you're being presented with. Maybe it's not that itself, but it is that if you say yes or you agree to be mixed in with the other energies, that maybe there's a fear of losing who you are that you've worked so hard at trying to become. That's key as well. So pause, again, we go back to number one. That is where that's useful. Again, pull back to see, all of these things. And then addressing these fears, like what is the real fear? When you understand what the real fear is, if you take a closer look at it, you'll see that it has multi-dimensions. And the fear is not so much to scare you as much as it is for you to get real about what those triggers are. And that's important. So as you pause and you pull back and then you address the fear zone, then you are looking at the combination of how they all work together, how they all link together, how they link to your journey, and how they link to what's going on in your world, how you're communicating, how you're doing, and how you are being. Yeah. How you are being. Because maybe what you're doing in your being could also be calling upon you to take a closer look at the ego, at the fear, at your comfort zone, at your boundary. They're all linked together. So this is why I'm here, lovely souls. I came here to kind of explain these energies. So if you're feeling funky right now, or you are feeling, should I stay or should I go? Should I relax? Should I do whatever? Take a pause. Pull back. Take a look. Address the fears. Whatever that is. Because in doing so and investing this time in yourself, it's going to actually show you things that you need to see as we go through this energy shift and change. It's also right on time and divine time as you go through this change. And in doing so, you're actually giving yourself the healing time out that you need so you can take on what's next. So as you go through this, please take the extra time that you need to reflect. Take the extra time you need to journal or to meditate or to ponder things with your own clarity. Because if you give yourself that space, clarity will come. It's not something you ask for and wait to be delivered on your plate. No, you have to proactively be doing that as you request that, to manifest that, in order to understand better. And that's when clarity finds you. So, pause, pull back, address the fear, and realize you are experiencing everything that everyone's experiencing right now in the context that applies to you in your life, whatever area of your life that is. And I'm hoping that you remember that your journey is yours and that you are always protected and safe, and in honoring your soul and your human simultaneously with this truth, you'll be able to navigate the balance of the push-pull energy that's shifting right now. I'm Stacey Kumgai, your Linkologist, here to help you link your life. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Linkronicity, blogspot.com, and go to Linkronicity.com for private coaching sessions. I'm helping the collective here in the best way that I can. But if you need a customized, journey consultation, I will give you a consultation to evaluate you, and then you can choose an hour or 90-minute session at your choosing based on what's going on with you in your life. And until next healing time out, I'm hoping that you can navigate these energies with a smooth transition as we work with what's happening in the universe. So I send you love and light, lovely souls. I send you peace and blessings. Be gentle with yourself, be gentle with each other, and take on your day gently. Sending you so much gratitude from my heart and hoping that you step into your own independent thinking and feeling as you take on this transition. Namaste. 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 Namaste.